Welcome back to another video, and as the title suggests, this video is about the fact that it's okay to run your own race. And the reason I find this topic video worthy is because for me, it's been a message that I haven't fully embraced until now. And it feels like embracing it has changed so much for me that I want to make sure that I share what I've learned with you, just in case it could help you. And that's my intent with this. For me, I've always felt like that black sheep, that odd one out, that one that was just a little bit behind. And in my efforts to just assimilate into some form of normality, I'd look at other people, the things that they have, the way that they move, the way that they speak, the way that they interact with people, the way that, they handle certain emotions, and I'd use it as a model for myself. And when it came to the things that I couldn't necessarily change, so I could mimic so much. I could mimic different patterns. I could observe different word choice, and I could understand the thought process behind why a certain gesture was done. And I could read people what I thought to be pretty well. I've since learned it wasn't as well as I thought it was, but the danger was that I created a whole way of being for myself based off of a flawed perception of the world I saw around me. And operating within that construct caused me so much grief. It was disheartening, to say the least. It was like living in a prison within my own mind, of my own building, and not knowing why, because I didn't understand what I had done wrong. Felt like I could see other people do things and make themselves, vulnerable at times, put themselves up for ridicule, and I could see how, they were rewarded, and how, the social circles embraced them. I could see people who performed heinous acts and treated people like shit were glorified. And as I said, I'd mimic what I thought they were doing to be successful. And I'd measure myself based off of how well I could replicate. And I understand that's no way to live, but that's how I lived for a good portion of my life. Now, I've learned things about myself in my healing that, have led me to a better understanding of why I operate that way. But I understand that I'm not alone. And just because I'm neurodivergent doesn't mean that you necessarily are, even if you operate that way. So here's what I learned. You're never as You're never as ahead of everyone as you think you are, and you're never as behind everyone as you think you are. And if you're never where you think you are, it's best to just focus on where you are. That sums it up. You can think that you've made such tremendous strides with your life, that you've put so much distance between you and everyone else. And that line of thinking is flawed in its premise, because this life is not about you getting ahead of everyone else. It's about the lessons that you chose to learn before you came here, and how you handle the presentation of energy around you, how you handle the emotions that are, filtered through you, how you handle the thoughts that come to you, how you handle the dreams that would like to be made manifest through you, how you handle, the children that want to be raised under you. It's about all of those things. It's about how your evolution as a soul, not how much you can beat out other souls. The line of thinking that alternatively everyone else is so far ahead of you and you'll never catch up is flawed in its premise. If you're at a particular portion of your journey where the pendulum is swinging the opposite direction, and you feel like you're making negative progress, or you feel like you're falling backwards, I challenge you to lean into the swing. Not in the complaining way where you go and shell out your problems to everyone and anything like that. No. I challenge you to understand that this is sowing season, and start sowing seeds. Start sowing seeds of your dreams. So maybe you can't up and leave your job, but you can start attending YouTube University in a controlled, directed manner. You can start taking notes and moving forward, right? The idea that someone else has attained something that's meant for you or is ahead of you is asinine. For one, your journey is your own. Where you're supposed to get to, you'll get to. The things that are for you are for you. And the things that are for someone else are for someone else. This is an infinite universe. You can't look at someone else and say, oh, because they have something that you can't have it. You shouldn't envy what anyone else has. Don't envy. Don't get jealous. Don't hate. Create. Okay, so they just closed on a home. What does it look like when you close on one? Can your contact with them, can you pick up on the energy that they're occupying? And maybe occupy a similar state yourself? You understand that if you can occupy that state, the fruit of that state will have to present itself. They are proof to you that the law works. You don't got to try to beat anybody down for living their life as a soul. It's not what this is about. Running your own race means comparing yourself only to previous versions of yourself. When you encountered a similar situation, how did you react? What emotions did you have to filter through? And how successful were you in filtering through those emotions? The last time you encountered jealousy, what did you do? How did you operate this time? What did you experience growth? the last time you hit a pitfall in creating whatever project it is that you're working on, how did you respond? Did you quit for 3 months? This time, what did you do? Oh, only 3 days? That's progress. That's progress. You can evaluate yourself like that based off of who you used to be. You can look at how you reacted to previous situations, and you can pride yourself in the fact that you're operating differently now. And the fact that you're moving different. Doesn't that mean something to you? It should. If you can make it mean something to you, you can turn this life into a game where you can't help but win. But it starts with running your own race. It starts with keeping your eyes focused on the prize in front of you and understanding that whatever is meant for you will get to you. Understanding that no one can take what's meant for you. It's not possible. And if someone could, then whatever that thing was not meant for you. And it's okay to accept that. Sometimes it's hard. We want to reject that, but no, this time we accept it. If someone has something that you thought was yours, turns out perhaps that just was not for you. So where does your soul resonate now? Because I guarantee you, if you'll turn your awareness away from what isn't for you, what's for you is all around you, just waiting to be able to enter your space. But there's a gate in front of your space, and you're the gatekeeper. They can't get in until you allow them. So I implore you, this place that we find ourselves in, this time where things can seem a little wild, all you got to do is look inside and run your own race. I love you. I want to see the fullest expression of you. This is The Spark.